plug in for this wonderful tree service that you have here. I think people can see the phone numbers there now if they need to get in touch. I think we have it there, beautiful. And I want to just see now, that's a lovely old sun hitting the Bray Head as well. Oh, it's nice to be in the rich part of town for a change. I get the best view.
Where's that?
How are you, kids? Oh, how are you keeping? Are you all right? Right, mentally? Now, it's a big week for you, Anto. 20 years you've been with the fire service, and would Friday now be your last day, or is that just like a little bit of a get together to mark?
It's just a little bit of a get together to mark.
Right.
Everything.
So when will the actual when will you hand in your badge?
Well, I've actually signed a form a week ago.
Ah, okay. Well, I think it goes without saying 20 years is a fantastic length of time to be serving the community, and it's such a hugely important job. And I don't know whether you're coming to this point where you said, okay, 20 years, it's time for me to step aside for these younger kids to get through. Was it a kind of, I don't know if it took you quite a while to come to that conclusion, because it's a big part of your life.
It did.
Right.
I actually never thought I'd do anything else, only this.
Right.
That's been quite honest. It's very hard to move away from it.
Right.
Because it's a very rewarding and a very enjoyable job.
And those early days now, your useless brother Willie, he's involved too, of course. And that idea that it's two brothers, that would suggest the family were that sort of either connected to it beforehand, or obviously quite a civil-minded family. You're always kind of involved in things. Was there anybody else in the fire brigade, or was it just that your father and your mother kind of encouraged us to do good stuff?
The two of us. I think the one thing that made us think of the fire brigade, Willie's bedroom went up for
Would you like to admit to that now?
Well, no comment.
Oh, that's very good.
That was a little bit of the story behind it.
Right.
But when I joined, first there was 3 sets of brothers in Greystones Fire Brigade.
Right. I know the Archers were in there, weren't they?
They were, and we had the 2 Haydens as well, Kieran and Niall,
brilliant, of course. Yes,
Eric and Robin, and then myself and Willie.
Right. Ah, wow.
Then it was slowly but surely dwindling back.
Well, the weak ones fell away.
We lost them on the way.
Yeah. They didn't realise it was going to be smoke.
No, that's right.
That got them.
They didn't realise you had to work.
Yeah.
I won't mention any names, but whatever.
but so was it? I don't know whether both of you sort of got decided to join at the same time, whether one followed the other. Like, that is a kind of it's a big commitment. It's not like, well, I'm going to just take up a bit of cricket for a while and I'll see how it feels.
No, it's far from that.
No. It's far
I think
from cricket.
Myself and Willie joined the same year. Now,
Right.
Willie was in it 6 months before me.
Okay.
It was actually Willie and Kieran joined in '96, and
Right.
later in the November they jumped in early in the year, and I got an opportunity because somebody was leaving later in that year.
Right. And I don't know what Willie's 6 months, did he kind of give you an idea of what was involved? Because this is not, it's hard training. It's not like it's literally is a sweatshop, because you're going to have to go in there and deal with, potential, you're going to have to be able to face every kind of horror and every kind of, That must have been intense. I don't know, was it like a few months of crazy? Was it how long did that take to kind of get to a level where you could go out and be a fireman?
Back then you were sort of cut out first and you knew very quickly.
Right.
Like, it's not like nowadays where I've seen situations where people have joined and they realise it's not for them and then they leave.
Right.
After being totally trained.
Okay.
So it is, you have to be, I think when you put on the uniform you're doing a particular job.
Yeah.
Like any of the emergency services, you're doing a particular job, and unfortunately some of them touch home, but you be as professional as you can. And nowadays it's great because there's loads of counselling.
Right.
Like when we used to get together and have a bit of a chat.
Yeah.
Back then, we'd get as a group.
Sure.
But
and did it ever kind of get for you? Was it ever difficult to continue? We'll say, because there is literally is a life and death kind of job. So it's not something that you can always sort of rest easy on the mind with if you have a hard week, or if you have that sensation that maybe this is too much. Maybe I should be sitting in the back garden having a beer rather than did that come across very often, or 20 years is a good stretch? I'm guessing you certainly fought it well.
It would occur to you some days it would be nice to have a good bit of time off, but when the pager goes off, the adrenaline and getting to the station is as much a battle as finding out what you're going to.
Right.
Because I did come from a time where we used to have a pager, and there was a local lady down here in Killinkirk used to set the pager off and tell us what we were going to. Whereas now with the new system we're on now, you just get a page, so you have to go to the station as quickly and safely as you can.
Gotcha.
And then
Right.
you don't actually know what you're going to until you get there. So there's a huge amount of pressure put on the guys once you know what you're going to, and obviously the safest route, weather, you know, the
Sure,
winter.
sure.
There's a lot of things to take into consideration, you know. But,
Yeah. And
it's a real team effort. It's unbelievable.
I mean, I don't know if there's such a thing you can say that you know, certain towns or certain areas are generally smart when it comes to fires. I'm glad to say that I can't, you know, recall freely any great tragedies, and of course a lot of that will be the work that has been done, that, you know, the fact that on both the civilian side people are smarter, hopefully, but certainly on the fire brigade side things are done properly and lives are saved. I mean, we have been, I don't know if you want to use the word lucky, if you want to use the word smart, but I would hope now over your 20 years we have generally sort of been a safe town, we'll say.
Very, very safe.
Yeah.
I think being in this exact area with the fire service being in the town,
Right.
the speed in which you answer a call is so important. And a lot of fires we've went to, they've been in a built-up area is fantastic, because usually it's early detection from a neighbour or somebody walking busy roads. Some of the rural areas can be, usually by the time
People
somebody
recognise
sees
the
it,
trouble.
it's full flame through the roof and it can be bad.
Right.
But normally we're lucky, but we used to do a thing with school programs with younger kids at the learning age,
Yeah.
you know, that around 6
Yeah.
to 8,
Yeah.
which they never forget.
Right.
Statistics
I
have proven this.
think that's a good time to
But
be.
We used to
introduced.
maybe 2 or 3 of us, and we'd share all the local primary schools in all our fire brigade area, the
Right.
area that we would cover in fires, and we'd do talks in the schools to the kids, and we'd play a little game with them about Mr. Match and the good guys, the fire alerters, you know, smoke
Right.
alarms,
Right.
different little things like that, and it sort of sticks with them.
Yeah.
You know, because
yeah.
even today I often notice I've been in the supermarket and these younger kids that might be a little bit bigger will be looking at you and
They recognise
yeah,
that.
they recognise you.
Right, that's the man who scared the crap out of us in school. That's the guy who gave him nightmares for 6 years.
Yeah, that's right. When we're bigger, we'll get him. Yeah.
Now, I would like to know your advice. I live down in Kindletown, not far from here, and like
Yes.
Braehead, we've had an infestation of Dicus maximus pricus kidus,
Unbelievable.
and it's one of those things where it is almost impossible to know, you know, what's going through their head, because ultimately, I mean, what may happen from this play acting is death, but it's also just, you know, how do you even begin to reason with people in that sort of frame of mind? I mean, obviously violence is one easy option, but that wouldn't be preferable all the time.
No, I know.
Also, I find it very hard to get ammunition around here. It's very difficult to buy a gun. But
Unfortunately.
But I mean, is it sort of shocking to you that this still goes on in a time when, you know, it's so blatantly obvious that it's a dumb thing to do? You know, it just seems to be, it goes through sports. I guess the summer is one thing, you know, the dry grass, the dry gorse. But I don't know if the fire brigade have ever sort of been able to say, well, this is what we have to do in this situation. Or I suppose there is nothing that you can.
Access and fire breaks, and it's a huge expense and a budget, I'd say, to put up on that sheer size of a mountain with little less access. And there's a huge, like, the amount of people, as you know yourself, Paul, that use Braehead, because it's a lovely walk.
Sure.
It's a beautiful walk. I've spoke to people who would spend a lot of time very slowly walking to Bray.
Yeah.
And they said they go as far as saying thousands of people. They don't mention hundreds anymore.
Sure.
Walk.
Well, young George Jones went for a walk there. He told me last Tuesday week he met one of the council who were counting heads, you know, people coming off the cliff walk, just as a survey. By 11 o'clock that morning, there was over 1,000 people had come through. That was 11 o'clock on a Tuesday morning.
Unbelievable.
I mean, that's the sort of number.
Morning.
Yeah, like, you know, what about the weekend and the happy pair kind of pilgrimage and all the rest, you know.
Yeah.
But that tells you that it's just a constant flow of happy people. And the idea that there's a vulnerability out there that some idiot in a moment decides, well, you know what, let's put everybody at risk.
That's terrible.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we'll maybe when the camera's off, we'll work out a vigilante mob. We'll work something out. Yeah.
Keep me involved in that.
Yeah. So, is there any kind of feeling now what you will do with your time? Because I'm sure it'll be a strange one to just readjust your set and get into a different lifestyle. Where you won't be on call in the way.
Very, very hard.
Yeah.
I think one of the things I've noticed over the last number of months is checking the hip for a pager.
Yeah.
And it's like as if I'm missing a bit of clothing, you know.
Yeah.
I know that, but yeah, because it's been on you for this
Yeah.
this pager. Your whole life is revolved around the pager. You know.
Well, the good news is you can go back to dancing now because you have time.
You know, because it's a
and you
very,
still have the fireman uniform, so it'll all tie in.
It'll all tie in lovely, like. I mean,
And the calendars, will you won't be doing will you be part of the calendar anymore now? We'd
probably,
have to.
maybe with 10 years training, I might get back to that stage.
You could be Mr. November and December and
And the
January
whole lot.
spread across
Yes,
3
yes.
months. Well, listen, just obviously for everybody in Greystones, you know, everybody involved with you, Willie and all the other guys, Fergal and Keith and all that, incredible work. It's a real kind of reflection on a person's character that you would put yourself forward for such work, because it's not never ever easy, and it's always potentially incredibly dangerous. So I will just say a big thank you from everybody. I know it's been 20 years, so that's a great stretch of service to the town. So well done, my son.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Pat. Thank you.
Cheers, my man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Pat. And as I said again,
Yeah.
it was very rewarding to me.
Right. Well, I would think your whole family have that. I know, talking to Willie too, your whole family have that sense of. I'm just amazed by everybody's always kind of. Your mom's always giving. You know, there's that sense of giving back to this community. It's great.
Thanks very much, Pat.
Cheers, kid.
Thank you.